40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock myself?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Welcome into tonight's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. We are here live from the moto layout of Jerez. It is great to have Jerez back on the channel, and it's great to have Jeff Mathis back alongside us here tonight. My name is Tommy Cook, and we are ready for the Sim Racing Expo Grand Prix here tonight for round number 8 of the season. Partner, welcome back into the booth. How are we doing?
Doing fantastic, Tommy. Great to be back here. Great to be back at a very sunny Jerez, and really looking forward to this evening. Qualifying's underway, and it's shaping up to be a very standard, amazing FSS race.
It certainly is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings heading into tonight. We said things would be tightening up last week after a wretched week for Joao de Gregorio. They didn't just tighten up, they have been flipped on their head entirely. Thiago Spencer went from second to first. He was 37 points behind. He is now 15 points ahead of Joao de Gregorio, but never mind that. Titus Sherlock now 5 markers behind Thiago Spencer. The top 4 within 22 markers of each other on the left side of the graphic. Things really got shook up at the Hungaroring. Cody Claiborne managed to gap everybody except for Kyle Allen and Nick Goyette on the 4D Racewear AM standing side of things, but Claiborne still with a sizable lead back to the rest of the competitors headed into competition tonight. 3 drivers under 15 markers from one another. You talk about things being tight for the final 3 rounds of the season. They don't get much tighter than this.
No, I think this is going to set up for a phenomenal end to our season. We do have Tonight we have another normal sprint sprint feature weekend, and then we have an endurance race to finish the season off. So it's going to be really running out of races to have, and can't have any mistakes from these top drivers anymore, because there just isn't time to claw back if you have these mistakes.
Certainly not, and Joao de Gregorio will be looking to minimize those mistakes here tonight. He's off to a good start, third on the grid, headed into the sprint currently. As I just hit the wrong button here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track map, though. 2 3/4 of a mile, if you're not familiar with it. Tonight is the Moto layout, so you'll notice, I believe that would be turn 12 out of the 14 turns that we have here. Normally there's a little chicane there. It would be the Ayrton Senna chicane. But we're going around that here this evening. One big, long, rounded turn. Really fun circuit. I think going to be complicated by the fact that it is quite hot out here, as you would imagine, in the Spanish countryside.
Yes, quite warm right now. I believe it is 125 degrees Fahrenheit, which is actually even up a little bit over the start of the session. This is definitely going to be one of the highest loading tracks. It's for almost a 3-mile track, it's 1 minute and 20 lap time. So it's a lot of loading. The tires are going to have a very tough time here. I think tonight may be one of the few times where the undercut could be pretty promising.
And we will certainly be looking forward to all the strategy that will abound here this evening. As we'll go ahead and take a look here with, I think, about 3 minutes left on the board. In fact, 3 minutes and 8 seconds. As we pull it up. Not a whole lot of on-track activity at the moment. Kostik Sawovier is out on the circuit right now, currently fourth. He skipped out last week. You notice him losing quite a few points in comparison to the other drivers that were on our points graphic. 109 markers back. I would say he's probably out of the running for the championship here, but he is still in the running for some good races, and he has moved himself to the inside of row number 2 on his final flying lap. Only other driver on a lap right now is Peter Dunshak, and that is 4 tires off the racing surface. I don't think he's on a lap anymore.
Very likely not. Peter, in our one of the other leagues that the Formula Racing Series runs, did capture a class win.
Nice.
Last week at Road America, so that was something very pleasant for him. Hopefully he can bring that energy, and as we watch him have a small rotation. Kept the car off the wall, though, so hopefully he can clear his mind from that and bring back some of his ability from last week. I think that's a distinct possibility. Other than that, excluding Peter, I think he was pretty compromised in his actual run. It looks like right about 2 seconds covers the entire field.
We got some folks hanging out with us. Pokey Sayanman, hello to you. Hello to Biome. Cheering on Sarah Guerra. Sarah on the grid right now, provisionally 16th out of the 22 starters that we're looking to have, unless somebody else joins in the next minute and a half. We'll roll off with 11 rows of drivers on the grid here at the Jerez Moto Circuit. 2 3/4 of a mile, 14 turns, and it's a whole lot of fun here tonight, as this race this evening is brought to you by the Sim Racing Expo. It's going to be your and I's neck of the woods here before you know it, up there in Schaumburg, a Chicago suburb. Matt Short bringing us the sponsorship deal here this evening. And so thank you to the Sim Racing Expo, getting ready for the ultimate simulation gaming experience. It is bringing all genres of simulation and gaming technology together under one roof. Taking place September 5th and 7th in the Chicagoland area, Schaumburg Convention Center. Try out the latest gear from the biggest brands in the industry, meet your favorite streamers, and celebrate your passion for simulation with our incredible community. Tickets available now, simgamingexpo.com.
I'm definitely looking forward to that one, Tommy. As you mentioned, it is quite close to me, and as a nerd of both simulated car and simulated flight, I'm very much looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a pretty pleasant day.
It definitely is going to be a pleasant day. Who is going to join in the pleasantries of the day here tonight at the Jerez Moto Circuit? It's about to take place here. We're going to find out who is feeling very pleasant here in Spain. Time for the starting grid. Ahead of the sprint race here this evening, it is the Sim Gaming Expo Grand Prix sprint race, and it will be led to green by your new points leader, Thiago Spencer. Michael Costello on the outside of the front row. Kostek Soavier on row 2 to the inside of the old points leader, Joao de Gregorio, now back in third in the standings, fourth on the starting grid. Jeff Groff and Byron Daly on row 3. It's Sam McDougall and Brian Labarge on row 4. Matt Schlosser and Nate Siefker. Round out your top 10 starters. It is Felipe Silva on the inside of row number 6 with Kevin Bonomi to the outside. Zachary Smith, top am on the grid, starting in the 13th position with Titus Sherlock way back there. A lot of work to do for Titus. Cody Claiborne, Sarah Guerra, two AM drivers there on row number 8. It is Christian Jasper back there in 17th. Tristan Moss to the outside. Nick Goyette, Zach Flaum, Dakota DeMade, and Peter Donchak. 22 drivers who will be getting after it here for the 15-minute sprint momentarily. Let's take a look at the weather conditions. 121 degrees on top of an 88-degree ambient track temperature. It's a hot one headed into the sprint, and a lot of drivers with a hot hand on the floor, in particular Titus Sherlock, who has taken 4 checkers in a row, but he has got a lot of work ahead of him to grab what would be a 3rd consecutive sprint victory heading into tonight's action. Back there on the outside of row number 7, it will be his championship rival, Thiago Spencer, who will have the opportunity to lead the field into the right-hander in turn number 1. Green flag is out. The sprint is underway at Jerez.
Not sure who that was. One of the cars got a poor start, a white car on the inside lane. The people have changed liveries over normal.
Jeff Groff is around, and airborne goes another driver.
Looks like Gaber was also collected in. I believe that was Nate Thiefker that was impacted initially as well.
Oh my goodness, that was a wild one to start. Back to the front of the field. Costello right now in second. Byron Daly is taken third away. Sam McDougall up to fourth, and Joao de Gregorio maybe in a bit of trouble here. Back to fifth.
Thiefker was actually able to continue. His car got quite airborne, but he's just missing a front wing and able to continue.
Yeah, quite airborne.
Guerra and Groff both have got meatballs, and I believe have towed as well.
Rough start for Jeff Groff. Hello to Matt Short hanging out in the chat with us. That was an eventful first corner. We'll take a look at it here in just a moment as things start to settle down towards the front of this field. Kostek Soavier right now leading a tightly packed bunch from 6th on back. Schlosser, Bonomi, Titus Sherlock already up into the 9th position off the 14th starting spot on the grid, and trying to get his elbows out to the inside of Cody Claiborne. Now Sherlock set to go to work as a couple of drivers off in the background. That is Cody Claiborne. A little bit of contact there.
Look like Nick Goyette.
And Nick Goyette, yes. Siefker into the pits. A couple drivers to follow. Costello now has taken the lead. We'll take a look at how that transpired here in a moment, as there was lots of shuffling further back. Costello ahead now of Thiago Spencer for the race lead. Where do we even start here? Goodness gracious.
It just all kept happening so quickly. There was a couple drivers that had to take pit starts. Everybody appears to have done what they were required to do, which is pretty nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thiago Spencer, very loose under braking. Michael Costello did what he did at the Hungaroring last week, made that deep dive into the right-hander. This time he makes it stick. But Spencer has not gone away, just a car length or less separated from Costello at the front of this field. Now we'll go back and look for some incidents, in particular our very first incident in turn number 1, just as soon as we see if Thiago Spencer is able to mount some kind of a charge here into the first turn, down the front straightaway. Look at how dirty these tires are, as all the drivers that have been off the track have drug so much gravel and dirt and debris onto the racing circuit. This is already an evil enough car to try and handle, as it's proven right there. Thiago Spencer under braking, locking it up. And now he will fall right back to Byron Daly in second.
A very big issue for Thiago, but a good save and really minimized what that could have turned into.
I mean, You're talking about the hot track temperature here. This is already a difficult enough car to handle on its own. I mean, 120 degrees Fahrenheit is a lot, and it seems to be more than some of these drivers are able to handle early in the going here.
Definitely a rough setup, but it should hopefully really prove who can do it, and it is definitely proving right now with the leaders being able to do it pretty well. However, Thiago did nearly have an issue earlier this lap.
All right, let's take a look at this now. This is Jeff Groff. Groff into turn number 1. Look at that. Swallowed up nearly 3 wide, and he is 3 wide. And Siefker up over top of him, as I believe that was Kostik Sawovier that made the contact there. Wowee. What a wild ride for Nate Siefker. So as they run right now, I believe Cody Claiborne is your top AM in P11.
I believe that is correct, with Goyette just off his tail. Donchak had a quick spin and continued.
So Micah Costello leading your Jeff Mathis. I almost called you Jeff Groff, sorry. Your Jeff Mathis quick qualifier of the night. Thiago Spencer back to second, 1 1/4 seconds behind Costello, with Byron Daly in tow. Sam McDougall, Joao de Gregorio battling hard here. McDougall with the position for now. Joao trying to regain this spot after a sluggish start for driver 88. And really a lot to fight for, not just for the championship, but to establish some forward momentum into the final 3 races of the season, including tonight. I mean, Joao with a wretched week last week at the Hungaroring. I don't even know if he combined for 5 laps across the 2 races of the evening.
Ooh, very close, if even. It's one of those things, after a week like that, a 5th place in the sprint race almost seems like a phenomenal result. But for his championship, he kind of really needs to get moving and get past McDougall, who's doing quite good this morning. He started 7th, so he had a pretty phenomenal start to this race. But Joao, if he wants to keep himself alive, he needs to get rolling. Spencer and Costello kind of running away is a bit of a problem for his championship hopes. But I think we still got a lot of time, and he's putting himself in a pretty good position for the feature as well.
Just further back, Kostik Sawovier and Titus Sherlock are battling for the 8th position. And Titus, a little bit of contact there from Kostik, as Kostik is fighting tooth and nail to try and hang on to this spot. And Titus with a 14th place qualifying effort. We have not really seen him start that far down on the grid on pace alone. And Kostik has held on to the spot for now. Titus not done, and he'll have plenty of time to get back by Kostik here in the 222 in the battle for 8th.
Kostik with very good outbraking there over Sherlock. Sherlock looking again. Very nice crossover and a little bit of contact there. Yep, that's a little awkward. That'll be something to look at later on. Race control, I'm sure, will have a lot of fun with that later on.
Kostik and the Eclipse team have had a couple of run-ins here this season. That probably won't sit well with him. But we'll see what lies in store for Kostik and for Titus. Meanwhile, up front, Joao de Gregorio making the pass into turn number 1, and he's got it. He's up to 4th. McDougall back 1.
Yeah, that's what Joao needs to be doing. He needs to stay up, and he really needs to be ahead of Spencer to really put the pressure on him points-wise.
7.5 minutes to go. He's only 5 seconds behind Marco Costello in the lead. Maybe not eyeing the win here, but I would imagine a couple of drivers in play here, especially maybe if he's been taking his time and trying to preserve some life in these tires. We've got a problem in the final turn. Zach Flaum and Peter Donchak have gotten together from the looks of it. Donchak trying to get out of the gravel right now. But Joao seemingly has done a decent job maintaining the life of his car and the life of the tires, all things considered, with the lateral loading, the heat of the track surface itself, and also how much debris there is out on the circuit. I mean, we saw an onboard shot a minute ago, especially right here through the final turn. It's disgusting. Look at all that crap on the track. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So many rocks and gravel and dust and debris there. It's and out of the final turn there as well.
Yeah, they're going to have to use all the brooms in southern Spain overnight to get this one cleared up for tomorrow.
I think so.
Joao, it's been good to see him. He's been making great progress here. He really needs to get up with Spencer to keep the pressure on Spencer and not just on himself. But he's been able to make up a lot of positions, make up a lot of time, and I don't know that he's going to have a huge amount left in these tires when he gets to them. But he's at least got himself in a pretty good position compared to the last couple weeks.
Second fastest driver on the track right now. Only driver that is faster is Michael Costello as he continues to extend his advantage at the front of the field. About a second and 3/4 over Thiago Spencer. Spencer himself pulling away from Byron Daly. And Joao de Gregorio slowly but surely eating into this 1.5 second gap he's got up to Daly to try and overtake for the third position. And De Gregorio and McDougall about the closest two drivers on the track for position. In fact, they're the only two drivers within 1 second of one another currently, save for your top am right now, Cody Claiborne, who's getting reeled in by Felipe Silva. Silva started back in the 11th. He is running 11th after a great week last week at the Hungaroring. A little bit further down the order than I think he would probably expect to be, especially 10 minutes into the sprint. But a lot's been going on, to be absolutely fair to everybody.
Speaking of a lot going on, good news, Nate Siefker is back out on track.
Okay.
I don't know that there is too terribly much he can do, but if anybody does have any issues, he is able to capitalize and to get a little more of a read on the car so he can have a little bit more information going into the feature race.
Always good to have a big notebook.
It appears, has Flaum gotten around Donchak again? No, Flaum is a lap behind Donchak.
Yes, indeed. Couple battles tightening up here. Kevin Bonomi, Matt Schlosser. That'll be the battle for 6. Solid run for Schlosser up to this point. One spot out of the top 5. Brian Labarge is nearing Titus Sherlock a bit from the looks of it. Sherlock's still down in the 8th position. Kostik Solovier right now is closing in on Zachary Smith for 12th. I would imagine Kostik is driving angry.
It's very likely. The big thing for him is trying to get to that 10th position for the invert for the feature. That's the point there would be nice, but the invert would be significantly helpful.
And here is the battle for that invert pole position, if you will. Silva's caught right up to your 40 race where top am Cody Claiborne and is putting on the pressure here for 10th.
Yeah, Silva having to drive upwards. He didn't have any issues in this race, but he had some issues last week that copped him a pit start for this week. So he started for the pits, which did save him from any potential danger in the first opening laps, but that does now mean he has to still make up some pretty big ground.
A little weaving down the straight as Claiborne trying to break this toe back. No challenges at the front of this field. Top 5 all spread out right now. It's a 2.3 second lead for Michael Costello as he is looking to head for what would be his first career sprint victory in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. As Silva way off into the gravel there, back onto the track. That was close.
Yeah, I bet that got his attention. That was not what he was wanting to do, but he was able to continue on, so.
He got mine.
He got all of our attention. And I expect his very thoroughly.
Schlosser and Bonomi not done battling, and Schlosser also gaining a little bit here on Sam McDougall. 2 minutes left to go. We'll see if the overtake button comes into play for any of these drivers in 5th, 6th, or 7th. Last time by, purple lap for Michael Costello. To get back to the races where Michael Costello has performed very well. three essentially FIA Grade 2 tracks, if you want to lump the unofficially rated Homestead Miami Speedway Roval in there. He did well there, technically crossed the line first, but didn't win. Then one at Barber, one at Portland. This is a track very much kind of in that vein. Things happen very fast, lots of lateral loading. It's another track where he seems to be performing quite well at, as he is pulling away. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, all of a sudden, Tiago Spencer and Byron Daly are within a couple car lengths of one another heading into the final lap. Tiago dropped back very quickly to Byron Daly. Joao de Gregorio in P4 just clocked the purple lap at a 1:21.24.
And it looks like everybody in the, it's Costello actually just turned on his push to pass. Everybody's burning their push to pass up. Daly's actually only in his last 10 seconds, so he's going to need something pretty magical to make himself work over Spencer here.
A little moment of hope there for Byron Daly that he might be able to sneak into second. We'll see if the handling woes go away here for Tiago Spencer on the final half lap. As Costello dips the right rear off into the dirt. And again, around the chicane bypass, he'll make the left turn here onto the front straightaway. And to the checkered flag he goes for a first career GoSquadra Formula Super Series sprint victory. Michael Costello wins it at Jerez. It's Tiago Spencer in second, Byron Daly in third, Joao de Gregorio in fourth. Sam McDougall across the line in fifth. Kevin Bonomi sneaks it out over Matt Schlosser there on the final couple of turns. Bonomi to sixth, Schlosser to seventh, tied to Sherlock. We'll have all eyes ahead to the invert here as he'll start on the inside at row number 2 with an 8th place finish. Brian Labarge in 9th, and your 40 Racewear top am of the sprint is Cody Claiborne, and he will have the pole headed into the feature here on the other side of the break. It is Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series Sim Gaming Expo Grand Prix at Jerez. Back on Turn 200 in just a moment.
For sim racers, 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series is presented by 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel, designed for sim racing by sim racers. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. And by GoSquadra. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. Coming soon to GoSquadra.com. Back to the live coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series here on Turn 200. The sprint race is in the books here in Jerez, and it's the first time sprint winner. Good to always good to talk to Michael Costello. And good to do it here in the sprint race at Jerez. Welcome back to the booth, partner. Congrats.
Thank you.
This kind of seems like a Costello kind of track. A little bit smaller, very high lateral loading, things happening very quickly. But the quickest thing that was happening here tonight was you. You had outstanding pace at the front of this field.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I mean, what are the challenges specifically of this track, and how did you manage to hang on so well as a lot of the drivers around you seem to be slipping and sliding out there?
It's just one of these tracks where it's just a high commitment track, just not overheating tires, and the biggest thing is dirty air is especially really bad. So wherever you could really kind of make a move, you just have to go for it and make sure you stay in front, and you'll naturally just kind of pull a gap.
I mean, one of the challenges, of course, is going to be starting in the invert here. You'll be on the outside of row number 5. But assuming we get away cleanly here, I think it's worth asking that the pit road entry here is going to be difficult with a mandatory pit stop. Any plans on, or does that rather change your strategy, knowing it's going to be a little bit difficult to get in and out, or is it still kind of the same strategy you would expect?
Still just kind of the same thing. Just have to be careful on pit road. Make sure that you don't go off and mess it up. But I think it's just about conserving a little bit when you go into the pits, not making sure that you kind of just try and gain as much time, because that's when mistakes happen. And about the invert, probably my first time starting 10th. Just had to be smart about it. Just hope that my bad luck streak is over, and we'll just keep chipping away at it. And I know I have the pace, and you just have to keep chipping away at it.
Well, we're looking forward to that here in the feature. Congratulations to you. Any shout-outs you want to get in before we let you go?
But yeah, I just want to thank the whole Eclipse competition team. We've been putting in a lot of work recently, trying to get back on top. Especially to Titus, I want to shout him out. Just barely made it, had to fly back, but with zero practice, so hopefully he could finish quite well.
Well, we'll hope to talk to you again here in about 45 minutes, but congrats on the sprint win to start the night.
Thank you so much.
So that is Michael Costello. Very interesting race that we've got coming up here before we bring Jeff back into the fold. Want to let some folks know the things that are coming up on the channel. Not a lot going on right now. Of course, we'll be on air for the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple A's Auto Sport. Wednesday night, it is from the Atlanta 2008 Infield Road Course. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Cannot wait. It's must-see TV at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time here on the channel. And that brings us all the way back around to next Monday night. We're at Interlagos, a channel favorite here on Turn 200 for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. Excited to get back there at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursday night truck racing will be back in 2 weeks from Phoenix. And the Venom Truck Series will be back at the end of the month from Daytona. So excited for our regular truck racing programming to come back here in a few weeks' time. We got 30 seconds left. Jeff, any thoughts headed into what is sure to be a very fiery feature race?
I think it's going to be a pretty darn good race. Wind is pretty similar. I think it's the same direction as it was in the heat race. The notable difference from the heat race is the lack of heat on the track. It's still almost 100-degree track temp and coming up a little bit, but we're over 20 degrees cooler than we were during the heat race. So that's going to make a big swing in grip, and it could change the balance of these cars. And as you guys said during the interview there with Costello, he kind of downplayed it a little bit. But I think I counted a minimum of 6 cars that went off on pit entry in practice. So that is going to be very important during this race.
It definitely is going to be a major contributing factor. We saw it when the ASRO Sports Car Championship was here a couple of years ago. Drivers going off left and right. Just another thing to have to worry about ahead of 45 minutes here for the Sim Gaming Expo Grand Prix at Jerez. It lines up like this with the invert in full effect. It is your top AM from the sprint, Cody Claiborne, leader of the AM points, leading the field to green. Brian Labarge to his outside. Tyler Sherlock, Matt Schlosser on row 2, Kevin Bonomi and Sam McDougall on row 4. It is Joao de Gregorio and Byron Daly, Thiago Spencer and Michael Costello, the rest of the top 10. Felipe Silver, Zachary Smith, Kostik Sawovier, Nick Goyette, and Dakota DeMade, the top 15, as we are set to roll into turn number 1. Green flag is out.
Ooh, Daly with a poor start, and
whoa, 4 wide! Joao de Gregorio is off into the dirt there. Titus Sherlock comes out into second. Cody Claiborne leads him, and look at this absolute gaggle as there's a wing off further back. A couple of drivers slowing and now spinning. One of them is Zachary Smith. Kostik Sawovier, an absolute disaster of a start for him here at Jerez. His night is more than likely over.
Looks like Seifker's got a suspension problem. He's slowly getting the car turned around, but I don't think that car is really going to go anywhere. And that stopped quite a bit of the back of the pack from being able to go down to turn 4. So I think this is going to be a bit of a truncated battle as we're 3 wide with looks like Bonomi spinning.
And Bonomi with contact is around. They were nearly 4 wide there, as Bonomi is going to fall from the top 5 all the way out of the top 10, top 15, and now is the second last car running. Your 2 series champions in the past 2 seasons, and they're set for another championship battle here. They run 2nd and 3rd. Titus Sherlock, Joao de Gregorio, and they're all chasing Cody Claiborne, the leader of the AM points right now, as Claiborne dips his right side tires off into the dirt. Claiborne will lead a lap. Matt Schlosser is down pit road.
Awfully early for him. I didn't fully see what his issues were, but there was a lot of argy-bargy down by turn 2, so I'm sure he got something in that.
I think argy-bargy is putting it mildly. That was quite a wild start further back. We'll take a look at it all here in just a moment. Sam McDougall in 4th, Thiago Spencer in 5th. As Cody Claiborne is under fire here from Titus Sherlock. Great spot for Claiborne to be in. Didn't get to finish the feature at the Hungaroring last week. Put himself in a great spot to extend his AM points lead, as Spencer is digging hard, looking for 4th. Can't make it. Michael Costello is up to 6th. The move on Felipe Silva.
Also noting the darkness on the broadcast there.
Yes.
The clouds are here. That's going to make everything better for the drivers. The track's going to come alive, and I think it's it could put a little bit of push into some of these cars and really get them to get going and seeing if they can start making something happen, because tires are hopefully going to be less of a concern than they were in the heat race.
Yeah, the only people that are going to mind are me and anybody that's watching at home. A little harder to see, but that's all right. Right here,
calm down here for a quick second. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. De Gregorio did clock the purple lap, but now Michael Costello back at 6th. Goes sub 122. We didn't see anybody doing that in the feature earlier. 121.70 for Costello. That's a monster lap as he is closing in on Thiago Spencer. Spencer himself looking for a move here on Sam McDougall. Still. Oh, and netcode contact is going to send McDougall around. Costello gets through, but Spencer and McDougall are in tatters. There did not appear to be actual contact between the two, but again, we'll take a better look at it here. Why don't we do that in just a moment?
Yeah, it's a very annoying part of the series that we have to deal with, the latency that is the internet, but it's part of the magic that allows us to race with our friends down in South America, such as Joao and Spencer, but it also creates the issue of information can only transverse so fast. Although I think Spencer's had, I think if it weren't for probably like 3 or 4 different netcode contacts, he would be in a particularly good spot.
Titus Sherlock in a 4-wheel slide into the final turn. It's opened the door for De Gregorio to try and make a move. He'll have to do it the long way around here into turn number 1 as the 2 championship protagonists go wheel to wheel. Sherlock fends him off for now. De Gregorio hanging in 3rd. And don't look now, but Michael Costello is right here, now to a car length behind De Gregorio.
Costello's had a great start.
Oh, and now he's off.
Ooh, I was just saying he had a great start for it. That may be my first commentator's curse. I'm very glad to bring that up.
That one was locked and loaded, partner.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, and terribly sorry Costello had to be the recipient.
Cody Claiborne's still leading as Sherlock and De Gregorio are battling hard here for 2nd. Michael Costello just got back ahead of Felipe Silva. Now he'll try and get back on the horse here and catch up to this battle for 2nd. I don't think we're going to get an opportunity here to look at this, so we'll just force it in. As, yeah, you can see there was a 1.5 foot between those two. Spencer riding up over top of Sam McDougall there. And my live button is not working. There we go. We're back to the action now.
Spencer was able to come in, change the wing, and he's actually probably 2 seconds behind McDougall, so kind of very similar situation to what it was previously. But he hopefully will be able to maintain the speed, and he's come from nowhere before, so I imagine he can still find himself in a pretty decent spot at the end of this.
Shaw is right under the rear wing of Titus Sherlock again through the final turn and the front stretch in the first turn. As we got Zachary Smith and Nate Siefker in the chat hashing it out. We'll take a look at that here in just a moment. That one's going to require a little bit more time and analysis here, and Joie is not letting Titus Sherlock get away. He's going to dive it deep, and he is going to come away with second. Di Gregorio to P2, all while the top AM is leading the overall. Cody Claiborne still paces the field. And we'll take a look at this lap 1 incident here. This is behind Zachary Smith. They're 3 wide in front of him. He's in the middle of 3 wide. Oh, just eases up because he thought Felipe Silva was coming into his path there. Off the track, locks up the brakes, but he's sliding through the grass and catches Sawovier and Siefker. We'll take a look at it from Siefker's perspective here. That was a sudden slow up there for Smith, who thought he was getting pinched, and he kind of was. And look at that. They're all not even a concertina if they just are literally stopped.
Very well put.
Here's a dive to the right for Byron Daly on Brian Labarge. Labarge getting his elbows out here.
Up to the inside of Flaum there. There was a little bit of contact on the pass. Oh, Flaum's in the wall.
And Flaum back to the pits.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact side to side between Bonomi, I believe, and Flaum going through turn 1. Then all of a sudden, when I finally got a chance to look at it, Flaum was in the tire wall on the exit.
Di Gregorio bringing friends with him. Half a second now behind Cody Claiborne, who has led every single lap thus far.
Yeah, it's fantastic for Cody. No marks against him as a driver. This is a very, very skillful series. And to be able to hold the lead like this, that definitely gets people's attention, and that is a very good job by him so far.
Leader of the 40 Raceway Amateur standings. Finished 10th in the sprint to get the pole position and has not looked back yet, but he might want to start looking now as Di Gregorio is on the hunt. He's brought Sherlock and Michael Costello with him. Joie with some room to the inside and a little daylight here in the Spanish clouds. Di Gregorio is on point. New leader 88. And that brings out the sunshine here on the back half of the circuit.
Definitely smart by Claiborne to not try to fight that one too hard and get back in line and be able to continue on without losing too much time. If you start to fight too much, it's very easy to fall back a couple spots and all of a sudden you have all the Eclipse cars on you, and it gets very hard very quickly.
I mean,
very smart.
Cody's objective here, as much as I'm sure he would love to be on the overall podium or even win this race, which still very much could happen. He's looking back to Saragata, who's riding back in the 8th position right now. That is his closest competition in his division. And he is in a great spot to take advantage of that. Is Titus Sherlock now maybe going to get swallowed up here by Michael Costello, who's trying to box him in behind Claiborne, headed into turn number 1. And Sherlock now going to make the move and unbox himself, as that was awfully close quarters there between he and Claiborne into the first turn. Sherlock is still here, a little lockup. Claiborne fighting hard to try and keep his track position. They are nose to tail, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, all right here together, while Joie de Gregorio is 2.5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, this is what the Eclipse boys wanted to see as they go side by side down the back straightaway. Titus making sure that is not going to be an issue.
And Costello is through. I think Titus knows that Costello has the pace. And Costello is going to get freed up here to at least challenge for 2nd, and we'll see what he's got on Di Gregorio if he can get through your top AM runner.
It is a very common tactic, especially if you have a team car near you. If you've been having issues and starting to kill your tires trying to pass somebody, have your buddy go do it. All right, you go take care of it, and I'll just pick up the shambles. So that's a smart driving from the Eclipse boys, and it's still smart driving by Claiborne to not let that be a thing.
Claiborne out wide into the final turn. Costello has the positioning here now to the left side. It'll have to be the long way through into the first turn. Claiborne is driving his heart out here. Costello a little wiggly there under braking, and right wheel to wheel they go for second. Claiborne still not letting up. Neither is Costello.
Claiborne does keep putting himself in position to get good clean air on the front wing every corner, so even when he's been a little bit compromised, he's still been in a spot to be able to get good clean air and not have to deal with any of that aero wake.
Not only is Costello working incredibly hard for this pass right now, but they are now 4 seconds behind Joao de Gregorio. He has checked out.
But Joao's issues the last couple races, his situation's very simple. He's just got to go as fast as he can. He can't really isn't too much complicated about his day. As it appears, Costello is past Claiborne now.
Costello through on Claiborne. Claiborne now will have to deal with Titus Sherlock and Byron Daly, who is charging up to this group. Felipe Silva, Brian Labarge, all not too far behind. Solid run for Labarge thus far. As Costello leading the train and now trying to uncouple and pull away. Daly actually just made a pass on Felipe Silva to get that position into the top 5 on the last lap.
Yeah, Daly appears to be in a particular hurry.
Can't say that I blame him, to be honest. I would be too. Now, being in a hurry is not such a bad thing here in the Formula Super Series.
It's particularly enjoyable. Although it does appear that the quickest car on track still currently is Joao de Gregorio. The quickest over the average of laps has been Thiago Spencer, but he is quite mired down because he had to get a new wing, and with the length of this track, that's probably got him a lot of clean air so he can make up good ground, but still just so far behind to begin with.
Sherlock and Daly now set to duel here for 4th.
Yeah, Claiborne's not really a factor in this. He's been doing a phenomenal job, and hopefully he can keep it up as Daly goes side by side and gets him. Silva's going to be with Sherlock here very quickly. Although I think that was pretty smart for everybody to not try that there.
Oh, and Sherlock dives at the pit road and locks it up. No contact.
About as good as that could have gone.
Yeah, all things considered. I mean, you heard Costello say Sherlock made it in here late, didn't get as much practice as he was looking for. And I think it's showing a little bit. This might just be one where you survive and see what the deficit is heading into 2. More popular, well-utilized tracks in the open wheel scene for the final 2 races of Interlagos and Suzuka is where we'll end our season over the course of the next 2 weeks. While Sherlock is the first driver on pit road to take tires, Joao de Gregorio last time by. Purple lap of the session as a whole, 1:20.71. Big time lap.
Yeah, Joao seems to be in an awful hurry here, although now that I'm questioning it, my thing has not been updating Spencer recently, and I see Spencer in the pits. Okay, Spencer's in the pits doing his required tire stop. That is what's occurring there. I was just curious as to why it didn't show him pulling a 7-lap average out of nowhere. Pits are open. They didn't announce that just as Titus was in the pits, so everybody's legal and good there. So that's going to solve a lot of problems. Titus, one of the many guys here who actually does real racing as well, and I'm sure he had. I don't believe he had any races in his normal series this last weekend, but the chance of him having something somewhere that he had to go do is pretty high.
Being a good driver, all of a sudden you're in demand. Cody Claiborne, Matt Short is a fan. Hard not to be at this point. Cody is running a fantastic race. He does have Byron Daly closing in on him slowly but surely. Last time by Daly, just about half a second quicker than Claiborne.
Yeah, Claiborne, every now and then you get those things, you know, when you're driving. Every now and then there's a particular car and track combination and just the right day, and it all just kind of syncs up together, and it just feels phenomenal while it happens.
Costello, last time by, purple lap, 1:20.66. That's a half a tenth quicker than the lap that Di Gregorio turned.
And importantly, about 4 tenths quicker than Di Gregorio's lap as well. So
Yes,
I
indeed.
don't think there's there's still a pretty good gap in between. Actually, there is a car in between them. That is a car of Tiago Spencer is currently a lap down to Joao Di Gregorio.
Now that,
Although it's crazy to hear, but that is with Tiago having taken his mandatory tire stop. That is worth noting.
it is worth noting as well, if Costello doesn't elect to come to pit road before he catches Tiago Spencer, that could be quite interesting as well.
This series does utilize the IndyCar rules, so blue flags are informational. I believe they're information only, and they do not require you to move out of the way.
Costello, last time by, 2.5 tenths quicker than your race leader. Di Gregorio right now, 4.7 seconds ahead. Cody Claiborne still riding in third, but now within half a second is Byron Daly.
Sherlock just came across start-finish, so it appears Di Gregorio, through no fault of his own, may be having the exact race that he needs so far.
It certainly has definitely gone about as well as you could plan for. I'm sure he would have liked to have gotten through Cody Claiborne and Ty to Sherlock a couple laps earlier, but he has done everything right since then.
Still a long race to go, but he's definitely setting himself up for a very strong second, 2/3 of this race. I don't think yeah, like that.
I mean, that maths.
Yeah, I'm not a mathematician by trade, so
I'm not either. Sarah Guerra is down pit road, just a little bit off the pit lane there. We talked about the difficulties of it. Again, that's 2 for 2, I would say, of pit entry. Well, now Sarah's bypassed their pit box, looks like. Hopefully that's not a penalty. But yeah, difficult pit entry for sure. Costello keeps eating into the gap here. Joao with a 20.82 to a 20.62 for Costello. That's another 2 tenths and another purple lap for driver 19. It's been 2 Eclipse sweeps in a row, both times tied as Sherlock. Could it be an Eclipse sweep for Michael Costello this evening? A lot of work ahead of him and a pit stop to go. But Costello, certainly in the middle part of the run here, has the pace.
also he's not necessarily currently near anybody, but a car to watch is the only other car currently in the 20s, and that is Kevin Bonomi. His last lap was a 20.897, so he's definitely on his way towards Groff, although he's still 5 seconds behind, so we'll have to see how quickly he can actually get there.
That's Bonomi in the 8th position as we ride along with him. We'll jump back quickly now to Cody Claiborne, who still has his hands full with Byron Daly. And as we point out, Bonomi and Groff closing in on one another. It's Jeff Groff coming to pit road.
Yeah, I think due to the temperature and just the loading of this track, we're actually getting a little bit of degradation. Yokohama provides some phenomenal tires that really last quite long, but they are built for the typical Japanese summer, which is usually a fair bit cooler than August in southern Spain. So these tires are being pushed kind of to a premium here, and the new tires could prove the undercut pretty worthwhile. I think it's going to be tough for Spencer to be able to make it work out, but Sherlock may be able to have a resurgence here towards the end of the race.
And with 20 minutes left to go, Byron Daly is pushing Cody Claiborne to his premium. It looked like Claiborne got a little bit of a jolt under braking there. Crossed Daly back over to hang on to this third position. Claiborne is fighting hard, and he has to. Oh, problems for Sarah Guerra. Guerra is spun around. But Sarah will get it back going. Back up to your top am, Claiborne, on the overall podium. As He and Daly bypass pit road entry. This will be Daly on it, looking for third into the first turn. Christian Jasper, haven't mentioned his name yet. He is down pit road from the top 10.
Luckily today his name hasn't been mentioned, but it hasn't been mentioned for anything negative either, so I think that's kind of a saving grace with how this race has started.
Yeah, sometimes that is definitely a plus more than a minus.
Also note Jasper had a pretty reasonable pit entry and did not drop any tires or slide any wheels, so that was a very good pit entry by him. It's because of how challenging the pit entry is here. It really makes it to where you can make up a lot of time compared to a lot of other drivers, but the edge, if you mess it up, is just so thin that it's so easy to lose all the time that you could have made up.
Michael Costello off the track from second, and his gap up to Joao de Gregorio has doubled. That's right
yeah,
behind.
just seeing the replay of that. That was
just a bit wide there. And way off into the gravel he goes. Back to Claiborne and Daly. Now only 2 3/4 of a second behind Michael Costello, as he still tries to clean these tires off and get back into the operating window. 17:45 left to go.
I'm sure Daly's very aware and wants to make a bit of a charge here.
I mean, we've seen
Being able to see Costello.
We've seen some drivers around this area in the running order come to pit road already. Is Daly maybe eyeing the undercut here if he can't find his way through on Claiborne within the next lap or two?
I think that's a pretty good idea, just to be able to get some clean air, because Daly's definitely been one of the quicker cars, although Costello does have the fastest lap, but Daly's also another car that's been under a 21 already. So it probably would be a pretty good idea to get himself some clean air off that front wing and be able to go without any impedance.
Cody Claiborne has been a master defenseman thus far, as Joao de Gregorio is in from the lead.
That's the earliest I believe I can recall a leader pitting in an FSS race for quite some time.
Costello stays out, so do Claiborne and Daly, but De Gregorio has had enough. And I'm going to check something because we caught it at an awkward spot here. Let's watch the pit end for De Gregorio. I think maybe just adequately slowing for the corner. That tough little left-hand bend made it seem like he had made it off the track, but he did not. In fact, it was a clean pit entry for Joao. We'll see.
And I'm sure he saw his gap increase a couple laps ago to Costello, so with that in mind, just keep it nice and straight and don't let anything too exciting happen, and he's got a pretty smart race. It appears he comes out in
7th
place.
Yeah, indeed, and he's got a nice operating window with 6.5 seconds back to Nick Goyette and 7 seconds up to Kevin Bonomi, who is one of the fastest drivers on the track right now. So he's got a nice bubble to operate in here. We'll see if Costello or anybody else is going to answer this time.
That also puts him in the situation of, I believe Goyette is the only car behind him that is yet to pit for his required pit stop, and no one in front of De Gregorio has. So he's definitely leading his pit cycle at this point, so everything he needs to be doing, he's doing quite well. As Costello stays out another lap,
and Claiborne
is coming in.
Aggressive pit entry, and it's going to work out for him.
Yeah, a little slide, lost a little bit, but definitely nowhere near what some of the others were.
Another driver having a solid night is Brian Labarge, and he is in.
Yeah, at the exact same pit entry. Moderate speed on the way in and just a little tight at the exit.
So this should be 2 more spots for De Gregorio. And Shaw will go on by.
Yeah, he's already on his way up to turn 1, so. What was his outlap? That was a 126. I believe that is a particularly strong outlap compared to some of the other drivers. That is
only 6 seconds off of the purple lap. That's pretty good, especially on cold tires on a ripping hot track. He is getting along A-OK.
Yeah, this race has been it's been about 6 degrees cooler in Fahrenheit ambient than the heat race was in the previous day, and about 20 to 25 degrees cooler track temp. So I'm sure all the drivers are very appreciative of that.
So it's time for the proxy war. It's Costello v. Di Gregorio and Daly v. Claiborne, as 2 of them have pit and 2 of them have not. Their respective opponents battling for first and third. What will win the day, the overcut or the undercut? It's normally the overcut, but we normally don't have conditions like this. Hot, high deg, dirty track surface. Anything can and has gone wrong here at the Sim Gaming Expo Grand Prix here at Jerez, round number 8 of the season. Only 2 more rounds to go in the 3rd season of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series after tonight. We'll hope you'll join us next week at Interlagos and at Suzuka to wrap it up for the final 60 minutes of the season.
Daly keeping pretty consistent gap with Costello. I think that's enlarged a little bit, but nothing in the last couple laps. As Daly is actually, last lap was a little bit quicker than Costello. It was like by about 6/600ths of a second.
How about purple lap for Jeff Groff down in P9? Putting in a good one, a 1:20.50 for him. Daly with a 1:20.54. That is a personal best, only 400ths off of the purple lap. Looking for the first couple of laps for Joao Di Gregorio. He clocked a personal best, but it is only a 1:20.07. Or rather, 1:21.07. It's Costello into the 1:27s. So full second quicker.
Felipe Silva in from 3rd. It was a clean pit entry. So that is 1 more from Di Gregorio in front of him. I'm not certain what the pit delta is, but Di Gregorio only being, let's see, what is it as it updates, 19.8 seconds behind Costello. That's a pretty tall ask for Mr. Costello.
Problems again for Sarah Guerra back on the track. Nick Goyette is down pit road 2 for his scheduled service. As we come back to Byron Daly wiggling under braking. Tiago Spencer last time by with the purple lap, a 1:20.37. That is a big time lap.
Whew. Yeah, he's in a pretty decent position. He's got very clean air, but he's sadly, due to his issues very early on, it's been quite hard for him to make any real progress. Especially that he had to make a second pit stop because of it.
Felipe Silva coming right out into the thralls of Jeff Groff here. Groff, who just clocked the purple lap, is all over Silva, but Silva, to his credit here on the cold tires, defending well. And Groff is a bit stymied in his challenge for 7th.
Di Gregorio does have a little bit of traffic here. McDougall, I don't know particularly what's happened to him, but he started 6th and he's currently 15th in front of Di Gregorio, so have to keep an eye on how that goes. As Joao is already back under a 20.49 on that last lap, so his tires are definitely coming into their operating window, so Costello's going to need to go pretty long to make it really work out over him.
Yeah, 37 seconds on pit road is what I was showing for Felipe Silva, and pretty consistently that amount, 37.4 for Cody Claiborne, as Di Gregorio will make the pass on Sam McDougall.
Well, that looks like it has both Costello and Daly coming out around the Silva-Groff era. So that would be, if that's 37 seconds, that would be a pretty major loss for both of them.
Well, we're about to find out as Costello is down pit road with 10 minutes left. Bang on. Daly stays out. He will inherit the lead. Kevin Bonomi is in, and he is wide into the grass. Not too bad.
I don't believe he'll cop a penalty for that. I don't believe that's anything of those issues. As Di Gregorio is already down the front straightaway, so that's quite easily taken care of from that point. As Costello is rolling.
It was about 7 seconds earlier, and it's going to be well above that. But again, Costello will have a slightly fresher rubber here. I think it's going to come out to be probably about 8.5 seconds maybe. So advantage De Gregorio for now, but still 10 minutes is plenty of time for Costello to make up some ground. But will 8 seconds be too much?
It's hard to say if it's going to be too much. However, De Gregorio is a smart driver, so he knows even if that gap starts to come down, he can, as long as he can keep a pretty moderate pace, he can let Costello work his tires really hard, and De Gregorio can kind of keep his tires in as premium a state as he physically can, as Daly does stay out another lap.
Worth pointing out, Thiago Spencer, with championship implications, made a pass on Saragera for the 13th position. We'll have about 9 seconds to try and catch up to Nick Goyette for the next spot in front of him.
Definitely a weekend that I don't think Spencer's going to look back at too terribly fondly. Although Joao very well could. I think this is going to be a very important weekend and to look back on as the series is towards the end of this season. Because, let's see, De Gregorio's having a pretty banner day. Sherlock has pitted and is on his correct cycle, but he's still not in a particularly amazing spot. He's just called his way into 10th. He's with Labarge going for 9th, and Labarge runs a little wide. But he's still, they're pretty strung out, and he's not able to really make his way through the field like he has been at other Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's been a rough day for Titus Sherlock, driver of his caliber. Definitely has not been expecting to run the way that he has run today. Just hoping to be able to finish this one and move on to the final two for sure. But you're right, he's got Labarge in his crosshairs here looking for 9th as Byron Daly hits pit road. And this will just about complete our pit cycle, I do believe. Daly was the last driver standing on his original tires.
I believe so. It shows sure. I'm uncertain on Schlosser. What lap are we? Schlosser, I believe, has yet to pit. He did pit, but I think he pit.
Yep, he pit on lap 1. You are correct.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It shows his tire stint's 22 laps long, and Titus pit actually pit as Zach was keying up to say the pit road was open. So him being 13 is kind of the datum we're looking at. So Schlosser and, well, Daly, who is now rejoining us.
So Byron Daly comes out 5 seconds ahead of Cody Claiborne. So the overcut works for Daly. Doesn't work quite as well for Michael Costello, who has not made up any time yet on De Gregorio. With 6.5 minutes to go, he's had a few minutes to work at it, and De Gregorio has put about 0.8 of a second on it.
Yeah, De Gregorio is still running 20.5 to Costello's 20.48, so the tire advantage, while there probably is a pretty legitimate advantage, De Gregorio being smart with, in luckily getting that clean air, has really been able to nurse his tire, get his tires into the operating window comfortably, and it's going to be awfully hard to mount a formidable challenge to him. But as we saw a couple weeks ago, Alex Palou dropped it from the lead twice at Mid-Ohio, so if he can make a mistake, anyone can make a mistake.
Absolutely. Here is Groff and Silva still scrapping away here for spot number 6. Groff with a dive into the final turn, but Silva working the middle, swings down, covers him off, and has the advantage. It's the 666 in P6 with 5:15 to go. Purple lap last time by for Costello, 1:20.22. Monster lap for him.
Do believe that may be going away just now, because I believe Bonomi, who's right behind the Silva Groff battle, did a 20.182. So that's they could all get together at a pretty similar time, and that could become quite an exciting battle for it appears 6th place.
As this fuel load gets lighter, looking to get into the 119s by the end of this one. 444s on the timing clock. Advantage still 8 seconds to De Gregorio. It is closing.
Oh, I think it's actually opened up a couple seconds there. I think it was 6.5 not terribly long ago.
No, it was 8.8 just last time by, but Costello's still needling in here. He's now got it under 8. $120 flat for Costello. Another purple lap, another 7/10 chunk out of the lead. But time is running out. Probably only 3 laps to go.
It's very important for Schlosser, who is still in the need of a new set of tires.
Schlosser in P5. And you talk about Kevin Bonomi closing in on that battle. Well, that battle is closing in on Matt Schlosser, who rides in 5th.
And I don't know, I bet Silva and Groff, I bet they're not aware that Schlosser needs to still pit. So Silva may be trying to look up and see what's really in front of him, but he may not fully know what's truly there.
Tiago Spencer, purple lap, 119.91. He is trying everything he can to get up to Nick Goyette in 12th. Cody Claiborne still the top AM in the 4th spot. What a banner day it has been for him. We'll talk to him as of now, regardless, at the end of this one. Di Gregorio across the line, 120.90 for him. Costello across the stripe, 120.04. So another 8/10. It's under 7 seconds, but time is running out.
7 seconds, and we're probably got potentially 2 to 3 laps left. I think this is going to be getting very optimistic for him as Schlosser still stays out, so he's going to need a pit here shortly. It's going to become very relevant to him as it's kind of backing up Silva and into Bonomi and Groff. And before anything kicks off here, just a quick rundown. Cody Claiborne in 4th is leading AM. Second place in the AM class is Nick Goyette. He is in 12th in front of Sarah Guerra in 14th. That is your AM podium. Peter Donchak is 4th. Zachary Smith is 5th, and he has retired. So Donchak is still, Donchak is no longer running as well. So it is just the podium of AMs that are currently running.
Watching the time across the line, and it will be 2 laps to go for Di Gregorio. This time by 120.18. That is a personal best for Di Gregorio. For Costello across the stripe, 119.75. But Di Gregorio answers the call as Silva and Groff are going at it here for 6th.
3 corners to the end there, Silva actually ran a little wide, and so that's going to put him quite close, and Bonomi is 100% with him at this point.
So Groff to 6th, looking to pick up 5th. And this Matt Schlosser thinks that he's made the requirement. We're showing otherwise. But he continues to ride here. Oh, Bonomi wide, and that is going to cost him this battle.
It's going to cost him the battle, but there's still quite a bit of a gap to Labarge, although that's kind of an awkward spot. He'll be, as long as he can keep his tires fairly well under him, that's going to not be too much of a concern.
Di Gregorio matching sector to sector here with Michael Costello. Gap stands at 7 seconds to the white flag. Joao Di Gregorio on the precipice here. $119.67 purple for the race leader. Costello fading.
Don't know what to say on it, but Schlosser did stay out, so that is going to be a very awkward situation for him after this.
All to be sorted out post-race. Joao de Gregorio has one feature win to go with his championship in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. How about Season 1, Round 7? Tonight is Season 3, Round 8, and he's got one more corner to round before he can get back into victory circle off the back of a devastating Hungaroring last week. It is a resounding rebuttal for Joao de Gregorio. He is going back to victory lane in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. De Gregorio takes the Sim Gaming Expo Grand Prix at Jerez. What a night for him. Michael Costello in second. Byron Daly to round out the podium, and it is the best 40 Racewear Top Am performance we've seen this season. Cody Claiborne 4th overall. What a performance from Claiborne tonight. Tentatively, Schlosser in 5th. We think that result will change. Groff in 6th, Silva in 7th, Bonomi, Labarge, and Titus Sherlock down to 10th. Not the night that he needed, but exactly the night that this gentleman needed. That is exactly what the doctor ordered for your Season 1 champion, De Gregorio. Whipping the burnouts here.
He very specifically knew what he needed to do to keep his championship alive. And coming back to it with Sherlock tentatively finishing 10th and Spencer finishing 12th. I don't know that Joao could have had a much better feature to be all said and done.
Just about the exact invert of what happened last week. We talked about nearly a 60-point swing for De Gregorio to fall into the hole. And now his first feature victory in almost a calendar year. De Gregorio back on top. That is going to do it for the celebration, but he is going to be fired up when we get him into booth 200 here in just a couple of moments. Let's go ahead and take a look at your full finishing rundown here after a wild 45-minute feature here. Round number 8 of the season tonight in Jerez will come to the line just like this. Joao de Gregorio with the victory. Michael Costello, your sprint winner, will finish in second. Byron Daly in third. Cody Claiborne, 40 Racewear Top Am and the best Top Am finishing spot of the season. We'll talk to all 4 of these gentlemen here in a moment. Matt Schlosser, for now, in 5th. Jeff Groff, Felipe Silva, Kevin Bonomi, Brian Labarge, and Titus Sherlock. The top 10, it is Christian Jasper in the 11th. Thiago Spencer did get that 12th place finish with a couple laps to go, and Nick Goyette made that pass. So Spencer in 12th, Goyette in 13th, Sarah Gator in 14th, Sam McDougall, the last driver to finish the race, in the 15th position. It's 16th for Peter Donchak, Zach Flauem in 17th, Zachary Smith in 18th, Kostik Sawovier in 19th, Dakota DeMay in 20th, Nate Siefker in 21st, and no Tristan Moss for this feature. Take a moment to gather ourselves here after that one, and then we will go in search of your 40 Racewear Top Am. And how about a 4th place overall finish tonight for Cody Claiborne? What an absolute banger of a race here tonight, not the least of which came from your cockpit here this evening. Well done, partner. Congrats on a fantastic run tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I just got a good start and then didn't look back. It was an easy track to hold people up on.
I mean, do you think that this track in particular suits your driving style more? I mean, you get the invert with the 10th place finish in the sprint, but I mean, you had pace obviously to hold up the leaders there for a while and to hang with them and to hang with Byron Daly there as well for the overall podium. I mean, you had electric pace here this evening.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, today's the first day I've driven the track. I don't know. I guess it's good. I do well into like high braking zones, and that's all this is flat out and high braking. So you could park it on the apex pretty well, and I think that helped.
I mean, if you kind of zoom out to your battle to try and stay on top of the heap in the 40 Racewear amateur standings, I mean, today obviously was exceptional. But I mean, how much were you focusing on actually trying to get like a top 5 overall, or even an overall podium versus where you were in comparison to the drivers in your division?
Oh, I mean, I wanted the third place. I wanted the podium. I knew once Byron got in clean air, he'd be faster than me, but gave it everything. And honestly, I was closer than I thought to him at the end.
Well, this was fantastic stuff here tonight. You had the chat popping off there for a while as well. Congrats to you on the 4th place overall. And let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to my dad for watching. Obviously, you guys for putting this on. Dakota, he went out early, but he's still a good teammate. And everyone else in the voice chat, the Melmo voice chat.
Alrighty, partner. Thank you for the time here tonight. Congrats on the great result, and we'll hope to talk to you again next week.
Thank you. See ya.
We'll go up only one spot now onto the podium, but it's Byron Daly who will come away with the 3rd place finish after a P8 start in the feature. Welcome back to the booth, partner. It's been a while, but great to have you back up here.
Yeah, nice to be here. Honestly, I was a bit too slow to kind of be a little closer to the front, but it was nice to kind of have a good run. I think this is another track that suits me well, and yeah, got to get a result out of it.
Kind of talking the pit strategy here. You made the pass on Cody Claiborne through the overcut. Was that always the plan, or when you got kind of trained up there behind Costello and Claiborne, did your plans shift there?
Yeah, no, my plans shifted. I honestly got the worst start of mankind again. Like, I'm really good at doing that. So I lost a lot of track position, and what that taught me is it's really hard to overtake here because I spent 400 laps behind Brian Labarge trying to pass him. And finally, when I got by him, I zoomed up to Cody, and it was like the same thing happening again. So I was like, cool. Well, I guess I'm just going to be racing for 3rd. So I wanted to pit early and kind of use the new tires to make ground. But I thought if I got stuck behind somebody, it would be game over. So the plan just changed to overcut Cody because I knew as soon as he boxed, I would have free air and just to make the lap time I knew I was capable of. So that kind of did it. Didn't work on Costello. I pitted too close to him. He when I was on colds, he was on hots, and honestly, I didn't have anything for him. He was like 3/10 quicker than me per lap, I think. So I need to work on my game some. I definitely need to figure out how to extract more speed out of this car. But good finish today, and I can't complain too much.
Certainly a great finish. Great to get to talk to you once again. Let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, of course, everybody who puts this stuff on, the Formula League guys, you all for broadcasting at Turn 200. And yeah, just appreciate everybody who's involved in this. This car is a blast to drive. I really enjoy having a league to run it in. So it's been a great time.
All righty, partner. We'll hope to talk to you again next week in Interlagos, but congrats on the P3 here this evening.
Thank you.
All right. Up the order we go once again. It is Michael Costello, the sprint winner, who will bring it home in P2 here this evening. Welcome back to the booth, and congrats on the runner-up.
Thank you.
It looked difficult to pass there, to say the least, when you were all formed up there behind Cody Claiborne and Joao de Gregorio. Talk to me about trying to actually work your way through and make up positions.
Just how to pick them off one by one. Just kind of wish I didn't spend as much time on Cody. It was really good racing from his part. His defending was really, really good, but just kind of wish I got by him a bit faster. But either way, it really wouldn't have mattered. I went off, but it was really good. It was a lot of fun, and definitely not a horrible thing starting 10th.
Everybody pit way earlier than we're normally accustomed to seeing. When did you know when you needed to come down pit road? Was it to answer somebody that was running around you, or did you have a target lap in mind?
Honestly, I was just looking at times, and once I saw Joao and Byron start to go faster than me, I was like, all right, it's time to pit. And got into the pit lane and came out a little bit farther behind Joao than I wanted to, but, it's all good. Just try to run him down, but...
Well, we got a couple more weeks before we close up shop here. Interlagos and Suzuka, the final 2 races of the season. How do we feel to close out the season, looking for a couple more trophies on the way out?
Oh, yeah, it's actually perfect timing for me because I have Toronto this weekend. So, Yeah, perfect timing for me to kind of have a week to practice Interlagos again. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to go for wins, and I know I didn't really have anything for the championship after I missed the first two rounds, but I'm just going for wins, and ultimately we'll try and go for the championship next season.
Alrighty, partner. Well, thank you for the time here tonight. Congrats on the sprint win and the runner-up in
Thank
the
you.
feature, and we'll let you get some shout-outs in once again.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Eclipse Competition for everything that we've been doing. Like I said in the feature, sorry, not or sprint, not the feature, sorry. We've been working really hard to try and figure out this car, same as the Indy car. So we'll just keep doing our thing. I'd like to thank all my sponsors in real life for keeping me on track: ProGuard Warranty, EDA Eyewear, and Racesuit Valet. And yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Absolutely, partner. Enjoy the week off, and we'll hope to talk to you again in Interlagos.
Thank you.
Long awaited, long overdue. Finally, it's Joao de Gregorio back on the top step in a feature race for just the second time in his Formula Super Series career. Man, what a night for you. Congratulations, and welcome back to Victory Lane.
Hi guys, good night. This one was a very very good one. The turnout that I had to do because of last week. Quali didn't went as I expected. I made a mistake in turn two and turn the last corner. And the start was good. I could get P3 from Kostek. A great hello to Kostek. We were racing together at Discord. Many thanks for the help, Kostek. I got the P3, but Byron got a very good launch at the start and just dived me into the turn one. I wasn't expecting. I tried to give the switch around the technique in the corner two, I think. Yeah, corner two. But I was on the dirt part of the circuit and I went off. I almost killed myself. But everything went great after that. I could recover for a P4, I think. And the feature race was very good. Very good. I got a very good launch, got to P3. Have a very good fight with Sherlock. And Cody, you are a legend. If you're listening to me, you are a legend, man. You had like the Sergio Perez defense against Lewis Hamilton. It was just that moment, and I could build a gap. Costello was faster than me. I was seeing that, but he made a mistake, and I just like driving Miss Days home, but a very fast Miss Days. So that went very well, and man, I can't wait to race next week because it's Interlagos, the greatest track on earth. I just hope everything went very good out there. I was there for the WEC yesterday, Saturday and Friday, so I just hope everything goes good there.
Certainly looking forward to a race at Interlagos. It is a fantastic track, one of the favorites here on the channel. But I mean, what do you think changed between race two and race one and race two rather here this evening? Was it just the fact that you didn't have an off track? Was it being able to sort of make passes when others were finding it difficult, or some combination of the two?
I think I was getting used to the track. This track is very rhythm, it's like corner after corner. If you miss just a lack of concentration here, it's very dangerous. So I think I just start to build the confidence and started literally to learn the track. Where could I go faster or anything? Uh, but I think I've got very lucky at the start. I was almost pushed out. I think it was Sam. He was avoiding a car and almost put me on the grass, but I could recover and get the P3. So I think that was essentially. And Sherlock was not so fast. He used to be very, very, very fast, but I could overtake him. Cody, I could overtake, and Cody make the master class of defense today. So I think just finding some temps there and here, so it's just there.
Well, we're looking forward to your home race here in a couple weeks' time. Congratulations on finally getting back to victory lane. January 15th of last year was your last victory in a feature race in the Formula Super Series. It's been a long time coming for sure. We're excited to have you back here with the checkered flag this evening. And as always, we'll let you get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
I want to say a huge thank to Kostek. Keys to my fiancée. Many thanks to Manu and HH Timing to sponsor me. Marcelo Rocha and Race Engineer for the course. Everything went great out there. And I think it's just that, just like come race to Formula Super Series, a very great series to race. And like I said, not last week, the week before, if you want coach, if you want to get faster on formula cars and prototypes, just give me a call on Discord.
Well, thank you for the time here tonight. Congratulations. Go celebrate a hard-fought victory here tonight, and we'll talk to you again in virtual Sao Paulo.
Thank you. See ya.
Very, very exciting stuff here tonight. What a long overdue and long awaited feature victory for Joao de Gregorio, your Season 1 champion, only his second career feature victory here in the Formula Super Series. I do want to point out, though, he's got 9 sprint victories. So, I mean, he's taken a lot of checkered flags, just only one over the course of a 45-minute feature before tonight. But, man, what a race tonight at Jerez. Jerez never disappoints. And another absolute banger here in the Spanish countryside. Well, any thoughts to wrap up the night, Mr. Jeff Mathis? We appreciate you being back up here in the booth. It's been a couple of weeks since it's been a couple of weeks since I've had you up here. Matt Williamson had the pleasure of working with you a couple of weeks ago, but a fun one to send round number 8 off into the ether.
Sure was. I mean, yes, I did get to do with Matt Williamson, but you're much better than he is, so it's no issue. No, that was a phenomenal time with him. It was a shame I couldn't be here last week. I thought I was going to be able to, and then all of a sudden the real world didn't allow it, which was quite sad. But glad to have been here. Jerez put on a phenomenal show as always. I think the drivers will be very happy to see a lot more cool ambient and track temps in the future. But I think this was honestly really showed some of the true ability of some of these drivers and really how there's the depth of field in Formula Super Series and all of FRS is pretty impressive. I'm glad to see the BMW pace car sitting in its spot, currently unbothered because it once again did not see any time during the race. Very glad to see that that's sitting there doing nothing. And I think it was a pretty good weekend. I really look forward to Sao Paulo.
Absolutely. And yes, again, to clear up the mistake, Interlagos, I believe, in 2 weeks' time, not next Monday. But regardless, we've got some more action for you on Wednesday night. Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Auto Sport, live from the 2008 version of Atlanta Motor Speedway infield road course, and the Horsey rode it on too. That'll be 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday night. Can't miss TV there. Yeah, that's all we got for the foreseeable future here until we get some Thursday night trucking and unload the GoSquadra Formula Super Series once again from Interlagos in a couple weeks' time. Thank you to the Sim Gaming Expo for sponsoring tonight's Grand Prix here at Jerez. Again, it's the ultimate simulation gaming experience. Sim Gaming Expo, bringing all genres of simulation and gaming technology under one roof. September 5th and 7th in the Chicagoland area. It's the Schaumburg Convention Center. Try out the latest gear from the biggest brains in the industry. Meet your favorite streamers to celebrate your passion for simulation with our incredible community. Get your tickets now. SimGamingExpo.com. Be a part of the simulation gaming history. Our thanks to them. Thanks to Matt Short. Thank you to GoSquadra.com. Thank you to 4D Racewear. Thank you to all the admin team here at the Formula Racing Series. And thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Pokey Sayanmon, Biome, Matt Shorts, Nate Siefker, Zachary Smith, and anybody else that was hanging out with us here this evening. Thank you to Mullet Music Productions for providing the new music library for Turn 200. This is Na Na Na. We're coming back to this one in a couple weeks' time, I promise. This is a pretty good one, I have to say. And more good things being cooked up by Joshua Rutherford and Mullet Music Productions. On behalf of Mr. Jeff Mathis, until we meet again here from Jerez Moto, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Michael Costello for winning the sprint, and Joao de Gregorio for getting back on the top step tonight in the feature. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.